Ladies and gentlemen, just moments ago, FBI Director Kash Patel spoke in front of Congress, and I'm not kidding when I say this, but we just got some information that absolutely changes everything. Folks, we just got the confirmation that the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, when it was under control of the Democrats, had been systematically targeting and monitoring almost every single right-wing political entity in the country. You see, while speaking to FBI Director Kash Patel, the chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, Republican Senator Chuck Grassley, revealed that the Democrats' FBI had a hit list of 92 different right-wing political entities, all of which they kept under complete and total surveillance. And yes, this is going exactly where you think it's going, so hey, make sure to stick around for today's entire video. Now, as some of you might know, in 2022, Joe Biden's FBI kickstarted, quote, Operation Arctic Frost, in which they sought to criminally pursue Trump and all of his political allies. But, as it would seem, this operation ended up being much more than your basic run-of-the-mill anti-Trump initiative. To the contrary, Operation Arctic Frost was actually much more sinister. Take a look.
These new records show that Arctic Frost was much broader than just an electoral matter. The case was expanded to Republican organizations. Some examples of the group that Wray FBI sought to place under political investigation included the Republican National Committee, Republican Attorney General's Association, and various Trump political groups. In total, 92 Republican targets, including Republican groups and Republican-linked individuals, were placed under investigative scope of Arctic Frost.
You hear that, folks? The Democrats were weaponizing the FBI to target 92 different Republican entities and individuals. And so already, I know what you guys are thinking. What about Charlie Kirk and his organization, Turning Point USA? Well, take a look at this.
On that political list was one of Charlie Kirk's groups, Turning Point USA. In other words, Arctic Frost wasn't just a case to politically investigate Trump. It was the vehicle by which partisan FBI agents and Department of Justice prosecutors could achieve their partisan ends and improperly investigate the entire Republican political apparatus.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, that is exactly what they did. For years, the Democrats used our own Federal Bureau of Investigation to systematically target, monitor, and harass conservatives across the nation, all so that they could try to maintain their power over the country. But now, folks, this is where today's video gets absolutely insane, because this is where we tie all of this information into the ongoing investigation into Charlie Kirk's assassination, and trust me, it is all related. But first, I do want to say real quick that if you guys enjoy the daily news updates, please consider subscribing to the channel because it really does help a ton. But okay, check this out.
Reports have suggested that the FBI is investigating a broader network of groups that may have had some knowledge of the shooter's plans. Can you give us any details on that, following up what you've already said in public? How's the FBI working to find other potential accomplices, folks who may have known about the shooter's plans, folks who may have encouraged him? Any update on any of that?
So in terms of what we do for an interrogation perspective, we go and reach out to the family and community immediately. And we've conducted those investigations and interrogations with local law enforcement, and we're continuing to do that because those closest to the suspect are going to hopefully know the most about the suspect and his beliefs and his ideology. On top of that, unfortunately, it has been leaked that there was a Discord chat, and for those unfamiliar with it, it's a gaming chat room online that the suspect participated in. So what we're doing, we've already done, is serve legal process, not just on Discord, so that the information we gathered is sustained and held in a evidentiary posture that we could use in prosecution should it be decided to do so. And we're also going to be investigating anyone and everyone involved in that Discord chat.
Okay, very good. I see the public reports that the Discord thread had as many as 20 additional users. It sounds like you're trying to run down all of that to see if that's accurate, who else may have been on that thread, what they may have known. Is that fair to say?
It's a lot more than that, and we're running them all down.
It's a lot more than 20?
Yes, sir.
And you're running all of that to ground?
Every single one.
Yeah, fantastic.
You hear that, folks? Yes, other groups are involved. Yes, it's a lot more than 20 people that are involved, and every single one of them are getting run down. But okay, here's a curious question. Who exactly is funding all of these far-left terror groups?
Are you investigating any domestic cells that instigate or encourage or fund or in any way support attacks on churches or other houses of worship?
Senator, you raise an incredibly important point that most people don't look at. I've always said we follow the money. And whether it's terrorism or attacks based on ideology or attacks on institutions of faith or people of faith, someone's paying for it. And we are reverse tracing those steps. We are not stopping at the perpetrator themselves. We are reverse engineering to hold those accountable in our investigations to who funded them and knowingly funded them. And we will bring the appropriate steps against them with our partners at DOJ.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. We look forward to hearing reports on that progress.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, that right there is absolutely massive. Almost every single time, these far-left terror groups are being paid for and funded by subversive foreign anti-American entities that are hell-bent on creating chaos inside of our country. In fact, given the circumstances, you can't help but think back to the warning that our great American forefathers gave us generations ago. Americans, beware of foreign influence. For decades now, anti-American foreign entities have been flooding money into our country for the sole and exclusive purpose of causing chaos and division inside of America, and now, as it would seem, they might also be organizing political assassinations as well. And as we now know, all of the far-left radical progressives, the Democrats, have been more than happy to accept all of that anti-American foreign money to sell out their own nation and to weaponize our federal government, the FBI, to try to shut down all of their conservative opposition. The unfortunate reality is, either knowingly or unknowingly, the Democrats have been taking their marching orders from various entities that are very clearly absolutely hell-bent on ripping our entire republic apart. And so, folks, really, all of this is why I'm so happy that President Trump is back in the White House and that all of this anti-American behavior is finally getting looked at. Because, as I like to say, that is exactly what it's going to take to finally start putting America first.